Hello, my name is Alexander Morari, and I'm the founder of ITKeyMedia. You've tuned into our famous, the only in its kind podcast about Central and Eastern European startups that are in pre-Series A stage. And our guest today is Ilija Dragisic, the co-founder of Buildcon, a web and mobile SaaS app for construction management, construction projects management, basically. Zdravo, Ilija.
Zdravo, Alexander. Nice to having you.
Yes, thanks. Look, as a quick warm up, which has become a usual starting point for our conversations at this podcast, would you agree that construction tech or prop tech, more widely understood, basically have come from an unknown kind of tech space into some kind of a prodigy, you could say, with more and more investment going into the space?
Definitely, yeah. In a couple of past years, let's say 5 to 6 years, this niche and this industry became more and more visible to a wider net of investors. And there are like a lot of solutions and new solutions that are popping up yearly and grabbing attention of the investors and as well companies that might have benefits out of those solutions.
Yeah, I understand. But what do you think are the reasons behind this, transformation from purely very unsexy kind of tech spaces, almost negligently non-existent, into a ever increasing volumes of investment as well. This year alone, judging by TechCrunch, like a review recently, this year by this date, around 2 billion USD have been invested into the construction tech specifically.
But definitely, the space itself, like a construction industry, it's kind of outdated within the software space. And basically, they are in a need of modern solutions. Mobile technologies, modern web apps have enabled those solutions and basically helping engineers in the field to better organize themselves and to better finish the work when they are in the field. Previously was kind of mode of operation was like the guys need to go back in the office working after hours, etc. But now they have all the tools they need to finish the work actually within the working hours.
Fun fact, a couple of years back in Poland, a Chinese construction company won a project. And one of the biggest innovations that they introduced into the Polish construction sites was using a bicycle. So what you just reminded this to me, when there's a road engineer and to get to the office, to the senior construction manager, so whatever, it's like 500 meters. And so they introduced bicycles and everybody was happy, like, wow, that's an innovation. So coming back to the scenario around the solution itself, I suggest we jump right at the product from the back end, or maybe from the user's point of view, and have a couple of screens put up on your screen so that you can comment on them. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, so Ilija, we are, I understand, on the inside the product right now, and we are a construction company, let's say a general contractor, and these are the projects in our portfolio, right?
Exactly. We have logged in with our email and password, and basically we have jumped in on the first page that somebody sees when they're logged in Buildcon. This is like a portfolio project, and depending on the user permission, a user can go through each of them and to have a different privileges and different functionalities. For this purpose, let's try with this commercial and residential building. The screen that we are looking at right now is the cost control screen. And this screen is basically the foundation of project tracking, and everything that is entered in the field will go here at the end. We have a usual work breakdown structure on the left-hand side with the details for each item on the right-hand side. Depending on the type of contract, we have calculation for the installed quantities and total contract installed. And as well, we have parts that are related to costs, where we can add our subcontractors or materials or labor force. And at the end, we have comparison with our budget. And for each item and eventually of group of work, we have the differences between our budget and our cost.
Okay. You mentioned labor.
Yeah.
Sorry, you mentioned labor force impact on the budget and on the usage of the budget. And how can we see the labor? I understand this would be what hourly workload.
Yeah, depending on the type of contract, we can subcontract the labor work either within the turnkey form of a subcontractor, or just to extract the labor within itself. So we can just relink this and create a labor here and add either particular person, or we can as well add a company that we are subcontracting the labor work. We have the fields where we can enter like norm, hour rate, unit cost, and basically that is the part of our unit cost per item regarding this one. We are now on a dashboard screen where engineers in the field can see the details about their week. They see here group of work, and they can see like items for each group of work that needs to be delivered or completed during the course of this week. When I enter on each item here, let's say first floor, I can add installed quantities by selecting the particular date within the calendar. I can just select like 10th of August and add here like 20 more square feet. As I mentioned earlier, this 20 will be added to cost control screen, and as well will be added to the item on the left-hand side, which will increase the percentage of completion. Beside this, for each item, we can create a task within the one sheet feature, which is a form of a snag list. And basically in the field on a tablet, engineers can open the drawings, add a task, pin it to the particular place within the drawing, and enter the details like task name, description, due date, person who need to deliver, and basically add some photos and take it with the tablet in the field. That way, we know that there is a task for this particular item.
So just to make sure, Ilija, if I'm on site and I'm with a tablet, I understand I can make a picture, right? So this is a desktop version. That's why it does not allow this functionality. Okay, great.
Exactly. This is a desktop app, and within the mobile or tablet app, we have the functionality where you can take a photo in the field or add any other files that you might be needed for that task.
And so this is as a general contractor would see. And is this used only for the general contractor in-house kind of needs? Or can a GC also put together a PDF or something and then show this to the investor or to engineering consultancy, investor's representative, like to confirm the workload delivered and then pay the invoices, basically? Is this the final goal?
Usually, they can use a reports for that. And I can jump on that screen quickly. And basically, depending on the data that have been entered during the course of 1 month, engineers can create reports on a monthly basis, and basically to go through all details that is needed to be reviewed by an investor. Usually, they can use this as a payment certificate, and they can download in PDF. But it's mostly like a agreement between investor and general contractor whether they are going to use this as a proof of delivery, or will they use like a traditional method or some ERP? This is something that is open to agreement to those parties.
I'm happy we had a look, like a peek inside as your potential client. So it's pretty self-sufficient and seems to be very logical and to the point. How would you describe like the positive impact of your program and solution used by your current clients? Can you evaluate this somehow? Does it, like, save them time and money, or money and time? Or helps avoid, critical mistakes or overlaps in harmonograms or like, in parts of the projects to be delivered. What's the biggest point of happiness you or satisfaction you created by now?
Definitely for the people who are using it, that's time efficient. They can, as I said earlier, deliver their work to their superiors within working hours, and basically they are done when they leave the construction site. Connecting the office and the field in the real time, allowing them to speed up the communication. They don't need to wait for some approvals. They don't need to send an emails to send like data from the construction site. They just enter the data within Buildcon, and project managers, cost control engineers, or even the bookkeeping bookkeepers within the company can immediately see all the details that they have been entered in the field. This is like the most impact within the organization by using the Buildcon. Other benefits are definitely like stopping financial losses and alerting company whether they have good contracts with their subcontractors or not. They can do like a quick comparison between different proposals they get from the subcontractors, and as well they have tracking of the cash flow and plan versus actual work delivered.
Yes, okay. And on the current business kind of state of things, do you have paying customers? Yes, how many, and how would you describe them? Like big enterprises, mid companies, mid-sized companies, or smaller construction family, let's say, companies?
Yeah, we are more in a small to mid-size companies space, and currently we have like 10 paying customers, and a couple of course that are on trial. So far we have spoken with I don't know, like more than 200 companies, and we have gathered like a really vast number of feedbacks, and based on those feedbacks we are constantly improving our software, and we are open of course to certain level of customization. So we are even tweaking our product to particular companies, helping them to adjust all the functionalities to their needs and to their processes.
Yeah, what's the pricing policy that you have right now? I know this is pretty, like, you could say this is very flexible and adaptable, but then what's your asking price, let's say, per subscription, per license, per units of usage? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we charge companies per seat, and basically how many users they have within our software. And currently we have like a starting price without any additional services and help around 30 euros per user. This is something that is flat, and it's kind of simple math based on the number of seats multiplied by 30 euros. You get your monthly fee that is Buildcon charging.
Look, it does not sound to me as a like prohibiting price. Why do you think you have only 10 if you think this is like too few for the current state of the business development. What's the issue there? Is it the conservatism of the construction companies or something else?
Usually, we have a large like a denial from the let's say middle layer of management or from the engineers that need to use the app. I cannot imagine the excuses and sayings from engineers that are trying to avoid using Buildcon, like oh, it's too much time. I need to learn that. It's not efficient like Excel, etc. So they have their creative ways to avoid using it. And usually, it's if there is not like a firm stand from the management, upper management, that they would like to transfer operations and project tracking on Buildcon, there is no acceptance on the layers below. So this is the main obstacle. Like people with their day-to-day tasks, they need to learn another software. So this is something that is kind of like a con for Buildcon.
Look, I know from experience that when your key champion, potential champion in the company is very high in the structure, it's usually a bit easier than when you have to convince somebody lower in the structure of the company and then, take this lobby kind of into the top management.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. But sometimes we find champions on the let's say lower end of the structure, and basically those are the most successful companies where we have like champions who are actually entering the data, who see the potential, who see the value, and who is at the end leaving the work on time. And this is the like most successful stories that we have.
And those tend to be what, younger, more like cosmopolitan kind of backgrounds with fluent English, right? So
usually it is that kind of description, but we had like even older engineers who figured out how they can utilize the functionalities.
Yeah, to be on the fair side, not necessarily young by date of production, but young by the spirit, right?
Spirit, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Look, getting back in history of your portfolio of paying customers, how, if you remember, of course, and you could share, how difficult was it to get the first paying customer?
It was kind of difficult and easy because at that time, 2016, people were looking for solutions. People are in need even now for solution like this. And basically, with almost zero budget for marketing, we just placed the website out there, and based on SEO, we gathered like a first leads. And really, the successful story for the first paying customer was like a champion within the company who actually paid from his own pocket to go through the Buildcon process and to introduce it to the management. So it was kind of a funny story, yeah.
Okay, Ilija, as for now. One more question. Sorry. What about your current situation as far as expansion and scaling up? Are you still focusing only on Serbian business because you come from Serbia? Sorry, I forgot to mention this. Or have you started already international kind of exposing like your product to international clients and first pitches? And if yes, what markets? The neighboring countries, or right away jumping to some big markets like US, UK, Germany? I don't know.
Actually, we had like mostly neighboring countries and a little bit to the west, like Austria and Germany, and mostly the companies and the people from this region of ours that have been conducting operations in Austria or Germany or DACH region. We have planned to go on that path. Like DACH region is interesting for us, and of course the neighboring countries of Serbia. But nevertheless, we had so far users from South Africa, from Middle East, from even Australia. So we don't have like boundaries where we can place our product, because it's a web solution. We can distribute it easily to any part of the world. And of course, our focus, as I mentioned, is still the region and a bit furthermore to the west.
Interesting. In those markets like Dubai, you mentioned, and some other like further like distant markets, this is pure SaaS kind of conversion story, right? They found your product by themselves, and they onboarded by themselves and started to use by themselves as well. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, actually, we do onboarding because we tend to devote our time for the customer success. So we are kind of in a let's say onboarding process for a month with our clients, and we are helping them to create 4 weekly reports, and basically to have at the end like a 1 monthly report. And this is something that we assume as a successful onboarding on our side.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thanks. Ilija, let's move on to second round competitors. Just as I mentioned at the very beginning, investment flows increased basically into this space, and definitely what you're doing is neither like very new, but also not unique in a way, right? And I wanted to start this round with the question: how do you relate to like traditionally used project management and construction project management software, like Primavera by Microsoft, I understand, or some other like Oracle, and other solutions like that? How do you compare to them, and do you plan to compete with them to create a complete solution, or are you just trying to complement these solutions?
Actually, we are complement to those solutions that you have mentioned, like Oracle Primavera or Microsoft Project, because they are mostly used for scheduling and for the Gantt charts. Mm-hmm. And other software is used for the cost control and snag lists and stuff that are related to the financials. So we are definitely complement to those that you have mentioned. But other software like big players out there are robust, and even though they have maybe started like a startup like 20, 15, or 10 years ago, they are now mostly in a ERP space, and a lot of lightweight solutions are bought by big players, and basically they have been included within those big solutions. So they have lost their I can say sexiness to the smaller companies and mid-sized companies.
I see.
So we are in that space, mid-size and smaller companies still, where we have a flexible solution. We are independent, so we can move that in any direction that our clients want.
Yeah, and so among your own peers, so to say, startups in this area, who would you say are like top 2 companies that you're trying to catch up with, or you learn from, that are worth mentioning?
Yeah, I cannot say they are startups, but solutions like Procore and Viewpoint, Buildcon, etc. They are kind of like well-established players in the space. Procore definitely is a leader within the industry. They are in the market like more than 15 years. I wouldn't be wrong if I say 20. They have provided really I would say great solutions, and Even they have like their own marketplace, and they have tried a couple of years ago with the operational system for the construction.
Yeah, clear. But then, how do you envisage your role in the same like playground? Do you want to catch up with them and like compete with them, successfully beating them, basically, or do you want to coexist with them somehow? I mean, you know what I mean. Like, what's your end game?
Of course.
To grow, become bigger, and then like crush them, or what's the goal? Or you will be fighting for your piece of the market and gradually developing there.
Yeah, we are kind of realistic in this space, because every great idea has been bought by a big player at the end. And I think we are targeting different markets from those companies that I mentioned. So we are aiming for gradually taking a portion of market that is overlooked by those companies, and eventually to have like a firm solution within space that are bringing value to those companies. And at the end, why not? We can be part of some like large enterprise solution that will cover the mid-size size companies or even smaller companies.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I cannot miss. You mentioned Dach region or Dachgebiet. Just for some who don't quite know this is what German-speaking countries like Germany,
Exactly,
Austria,
yes.
Germany, Austria, Switzerland, which is a huge market, of course. And there's an Austrian company called Planradar. How do you compare yourselves to them? Like, it's very similar, you could say, in a way, right? At least.
Yeah, it's kind of the part that I have shown with one sheet. This is like a part of the solution that Planradar have as well. There in Austria, there are like Doku tools as well. This is like the same app as a Planradar. We have a couple of companies here as well that they are using. Planradar is something like Plan Grid that we have already saw, and they have been bought by Autodesk 2-3 years ago. It was like almost 1 billion acquisition. And we have that overlapping, but that's not our core, and we're more into cost control and project tracking from the financial side, and less on the part that is covering that company.
Yeah, thanks. Let's move on to round 3, which is a quick Q&A. Try to answer in a short way, but usually we fail, like both sides. So we fail to do this. Anyways,
okay.
What are your productivity hacks? And again, not the tools that you're using, but the methods of working effectively. Can you share something?
Definitely to breaking like a large piece of tasks into smaller pieces, and to like be on it in a short time frames, like a week or 2. And this is something that we found that worked for us.
Okay, as far as internal communication, what tools do you use?
We mostly use Slack for like instant messaging, and we use Jira and Trello, depending on the type of tasks and depending of the stuff that we work.
Yeah. Okay. Today, as a co-founder, what would you say is the biggest challenge to company's growth?
That's the tough one. Yeah. The biggest challenge, is to like have a coherent team, to have a team that share the vision, and to keep the team motivated. I think that's the main thing. Other things will fit in.
Okay, yeah, great. And with this, let's move on right now into the next round 4, the company. And so the company was founded in 2015, right?
Yeah, end of the 2015.
Okay, so it's 5.5 years. Okay, as far as founders, I understand it's Janko Stojanovic, Ilija Dragisic, and George Filipovic, right? And
yes, and
yes, tell me. Sorry.
One more, Igor Milanovic. That's the 4th
and Igor,
co-founder.
Yes. Who had been working in construction before founding the company?
Jan Gustojanovic. He is
Okay.
a construction engineer, and basically he found the need within his experience and within the company that he's been working for.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So you have an expert of the subject matter there. Great. And how many people you are
Yeah,
right now in the team?
we are now at 13 people, and with a couple of external co-workers.
So again, 1-3, right? 13 people right now. Okay. And
Yeah,
what's the division? What's the division of labor there? How many coders? How many marketing, sales?
yeah. We have let's say 4 people in a marketing, sales, and management, and rest is product owners and developers, front end, back end, and mobile.
Your MVP or initial product was created internally, or did you go to a software house outside?
We actually reached to the software house outside. That was like a quickest way to have something, and this is something that have been okay for the MVP and for the let's say implementing all the feedback that we gathered during that MVP phase. We have completed our team and started in-house development.
Okay. So the idea was not to rely on software house on the whole development process, but just the MVP quick to have something quick on your hands. Interesting. And was this a
Exactly.
story with the happy ending as far as software? Like everything was as you discussed, planned, and so on, and they transferred to you all the IP and all this stuff. You're smiling. Why?
Yeah. We had everything within our roof, and I was thinking that you're maybe going into direction what have been left from the MVP, and actually nothing have been left from the MVP.
Okay. That's even a better turn. Okay. And why do you
Yeah.
think so? Because you evolved, or what? Or you had a better idea what the client might need from you?
Actually, yeah, we have evolved in one way. We got like a proper feedback and a proper direction what would be a better value for our clients. And at the end, the technology that we have used at that time for the MVP kind of was obsolete. Not like obsolete, but the new stuff come out in a course of 2 years, I think. Yeah, in 2018 we have started building with the current product. So we moved to the new technology.
How much did you spend on this MVP by the software house? More or less, I mean, the range, like a couple of thousands up to 10,000 euros, or
Yeah, a couple of thousands, but less than 20,000
okay. And
euros.
what did yeah. And what did this MVP allow you to achieve? Like you had this on your hands, and then with this, you started to build the team, or you started to approach investors. What did it allow you to do?
Yeah, actually, it gave us a couple of things. First of all, we got like publicity at that time. Everybody was kind of interested in a thing that we are doing, especially in Serbia, because we were like one in a space. After that, definitely approach to investors. We were like more confident to approach to investors, even though I can say the investors didn't even looked at our product, not once. And this is something that I think this is quite revealing to me personally, because they are investing in something that they don't see. And this is advice for other startups out there. You don't need to have like a perfect product for your investors. And at the end, that MVP helped us to get in touch with the proper companies and to have on board some engineers from the large companies in Serbia, large international companies from Serbia that are in construction industry.
So all the good stuff, basically. I read between the lines, and you would say for a new non-tech, I mean, for a new company founded by non-tech people, this is a very, very promising, basically, way of starting a company. Great. I mean, amazing.
Yeah,
That's a good
definitely.
takeaway. That's a good takeaway, really. And are you hiring right now, by the way? And if yes, for what positions?
Currently we are looking for a mobile software developer. This is something that we are looking for, and backend system architect. That those two positions kind of always open at our company.
And are you ready to hire somebody remotely, or they have to be
We
in the
are
Serbian office? Yeah.
currently we are working remotely since March last year, and we found that beside all the difficulties that remote work brings, we have organized pretty well. So we have teams working from Belgrade, but as well we have people that aren't within the city, sitting in a different city. So we are functioning very well in this kind of remote work situation.
Ilija, yes, thanks. Let's move on to round 5. Last but not least, as usual, Formula F3 funding for the future. And before we speak about the future, the history by now on the funding side was what? Total investment of more or less 250,000 euros, I understand, including notes, including seed round and some acceleration boost as well. And among your investors are what? 500 startups, accelerator, seed camp, angel investor you mentioned, right? And these would be these for now. What about your plans for the future? When do you think you will be ready for the next round? And what would be the target?
Our target is to release the update in a couple of months. We hope for the October. With that update, we are reaching. We are going to market that, let's say, new product and new features, and see what will be outcome of that. We are hoping for new clients, new customers, and basically the value that we are bringing to the niche. We are aiming to be proven by those customers. So far, we are testing here in Serbia with one company closely that is in a telco industry and telco construction industry. So this is something that we are aiming for the future. Based on that, we'll see how numbers are ramping up, and maybe some new investment will be on our board.
Yes, okay. And as far as profile of the ideal investor, would you say a prop tech investor or specialized construction tech investor, or maybe a corporate VC would be ideal for you? Like, companies like Besics or Bouygues Immobilier in France, or some other large like Skanska.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not sure if they have a corporate VC arm, but they should, basically. And
definitely.
What's the ideal VC profile for you?
We are kind of always looking for a smart money, and that can open the doors for other companies and for companies within the niche. So anything that comes from the construction tech, prop tech, VCs that have connections with the companies within the space are something that we are looking for. We are not running from the corporate investment, and we have tried a couple of times with like 2 or 3 companies, two or three large companies here in Europe, and they were like kind of stopping at the end phase, and kind of turning to like in-house solutions. So from our experience, they need to be like as you said, more open, and to establish like arm for the VC funding, and to leverage actually teams that are outside their companies that they can do all the R&D part within a couple of months and more quicker than their like departments within the structurized company teams.
Yeah. So Ilija, I understand what a big update of the product is planned for more or less October 2021, and then we'll need a couple of months, maybe a quarter, maybe 2 quarters, to see how the market reacts to it, and then based on this, you will be able to formulate, I mean, to calculate basically your expectations as far as the next investment round, which might be
exactly.
somewhere Q2, Q3 2022, I guess, maybe sooner depending on the results. Right?
Exactly. Q2, Q3 next year. And usually the construction industry here in Europe stalls a bit during the cold months. So this is something that we are aiming to, because they have more time and they have better attention.
Okay. Construction sites will be requiring less attention, and so between sipping
exactly.
a glass of whiskey and looking into the fireplace, they will have more time to review your application. And I wish you good luck to have more romantic dinners over the screen with your application on it, and all the best success with your product upgrade, and keep us in the loop as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alexander. Thank you.